Hi there, how are you? Let's talk about how to do door-to-door marketing. I've done a door-to-door marketing video earlier, but it wasn't nearly as full and as informative as I would have liked. So I'm doing another one. This time it's going to be better. So let's get started. The first things you have to do is find the products you're going to be selling. There are many kinds of products you can sell. Some things that do well are visual products that aren't too expensive. Right? Because if you sell too expensive things, it's going to be hard to convert people to buyers because they just met you. Whereas it's something they need, or you can build desire during the conversation, and I'll get into that in a second because this is key. If you can build the desire for something that they can buy in that instance, in that conversation, and have that product with you, get that sale right away, right? Because that's what you want. You don't want them to think about it. You could get them to think about it, but you really don't want to, because if they think about it, what happens when people think about it? They think about it, and forget it. That's exactly what's going to happen. So ideally, so you kind of segment off the neighborhoods, right? And you keep track of where you've been. The more affluent, the better, right? You don't want to go to impoverished neighborhoods, obviously, because they don't have a lot of discretionary income. They're very careful about how they spend. And you want to go during the time of the day that the people you're targeting are going to be there. It depends on the product you're selling. Most people are home, 6 to 8 p.m. But that's most people. If you're selling a different kind of product or service or something, the time might be a little different for you. Now, here's what you want to do. There's a thing called AIDA. And when I explain AIDA, it's going to become very clear how to sell. AIDA is an acronym. It has 4 letters. A, attention. With the attention is basically your icebreaker. Like, hi there, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. I'm so-and-so selling blah, blah, blah. Icebreaker, you're friendly. You kind of build trust. You show them you're not a serial killer. You're just there. And also some people, they just want, if you're likable and charismatic, maybe have a joke that's not corny, it's not cheesy joke, but some just good icebreaker, okay? I'll let you figure out what that will be for you and for your product and for how you present yourself. That's your attention, okay? The point here of this icebreaker is to get them to not close the door on you. Whatever you can do. And you will have to practice this. Yes, at first you're going to be not so good at it, right? At first they will close the door on you many times, right? Like, no, I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. But then you just charm them overly, present yourself as the overly charismatic guy, and then get them to not close the door, okay? That's your A from AIDA, right? Attention. You got the attention, they're listening to you. What does this guy have to say, or girl? When they're listening to you, what you have to do is build interest. How do you build interest? You build interest by outlining the benefits for them, and using the word you all the time, like you will get this, you will get that. And then you want to build, so that's AIDA, right? A, attention, get the attention, start building interest. Once you've got the interest, then next is D. You have to build the desire. The way you build desire is by helping them to imagine their life before this product and after this product, right? Making their life will be so much better if they will save so much time, they will make so much money, they will do things so much more efficiently. Their life will be less, they won't have to deal with some kind of a pain point. It will be such a huge relief. Build that desire, use metaphors, make them picture it. And when you build the desire, then it's the last part of the acronym, which is A, action. Because when they already have that desire, you have to get them to take action. Don't just say, great, I want it. No, great, yes, you want it. You see that how much this product is going to make you better, how much it will make your life better. Get it now. Okay? You can get this now. Here's a 10% discount if you get it now. Boom, right? And that's how you do the sales, right? You become likable, get them to not close the door on you, build up the interest in your pitch, make them visualize how good it is, build a desire, and then get them to take action, get them to buy. And AIDA, this principle is used in almost all successful sales campaigns. Salespeople know this, they're trained on it. Maybe people who aren't salespeople, they might have never heard of it. But once you start applying this AIDA principle, it can increase sales by hundreds of percent. I mean, For me, when I first learned about it, it literally helped started increasing sales by hundreds of percent, because I was looking at my old presentations or sales copy, and with just some simple tweaks, there are like power words, right? Money, you, health, save, free, discount. Like there are some power words you got to use, and there's a bunch of these. You can look them up on the web. You know, now, right? These kind of words, they just get certain emotions, getting people and get people in sort of the buying, like, oh yeah, or buy it now, or the offer runs out. Okay, I gotta hurry, right? So that's that sort of thing, and you just gotta do this, and your sales will start improving because you'll start hitting the right buttons, right? And you will just start converting people where you weren't converting people before. So that's pretty much how you do door-to-door sales. You've got to have the courage also, because it's not for everyone. Like a lot of people would fail because there's a lot of rejection, especially when you're learning, especially before you learn how to sell, a lot of rejection, and you feel stupid about it sometimes when people close the door on you, and they will. Even when you're good, they will. So you feel it's a lonely job sometimes, because sometimes you're kind of on your own. So there's a lot of things that are hard about it. It's lonely, it's outside, if weather's bad, you still have to do it. Your products might even get damaged, right? If you're in bad weather, in the rain, some days you can't do it. Maybe it's too bad of a weather. There's a lot of rejection. It's not easy. There's very little support network for you. If you're stuck, like something's not selling, you have no one to turn to. So it's not an easy way to make a living, but it's certainly possible, because if you learn how to sell, and by the way, once you do learn how to sell, you'll be able to sell anything, because you'll know how to sell, and then you can apply those principles that you learn in many future jobs, and even when you're selling yourself, like on a job interview, on a date, whatever, you'll be kind of better at selling. Anyway, so that's door-to-door sales. That's what I will leave you with. That's what's going to work, because that works for all sales. The AIDA approach, it's amazing. And then there's the mechanics of the timing, the neighborhood, things like that. That's also reasonably simple. So now you kind of have a good sense for how to do it. Some things you can do door-to-door sales, you can do so well, but some things you can do door-to-door sales and it's so difficult, right? So I'll give a couple of examples of what kind of things work to do door-to-door sales. And actually on my apps, which are like the business apps, they help people start and plan their business. I often get to interact with people and help them, and I've heard of a couple of specific cases that people have used. They told me they used door-to-door marketing, and to a really great degree of success in marketing and sales, and I'm going to explain those ways. So the first was a very curious kind of a thing that this one guy did, and he took his child along with him, and having that he was doing the same route and he was selling the same things, but when he took his child along with him, and he said, and I think he was selling either, at one point he was raising donations for something local, and at one point he was selling products like, household cleaning or whatever, some products that people need in their homes. Wherever he went, as long as he brought his child, and he was kind of like, the child was kind of part of the pitch, like, I'm teaching my child to sell and things like that, he reported that the sales were like through the roof, because people didn't have the heart to turn him down, right? And of course it's kind of like a strategy, like, do you really want to do that with your child, but as a business, the child learns business a little bit, he gets an experience, and you make more sales. Great thing to happen. So that's an option, and that person reported that it worked amazingly. He didn't have like hard statistics, like, oh, not like percentages of increase of sales, but he said it was like a night and day. And the other instance where door-to-door sales really worked, and by the way, this is just a part of like regular offline marketing, right? Because you get to make eye contact, and you get to say hello to people and sort of like shake their hand and
started a relationship with them, right? So you gotta take advantage of that human element there, and that's what all offline marketing really does. And that's why bringing your child it's not a surprise that that person brought a child, and there was more of a human element in that whole situation, because it's not just a salesperson anymore. It's like a salesperson who's supporting a child and teaching his child, so very different dynamic. Anyway, the other person who reported great success with door-to-door sales is this guy. He painted homes. So he and his team, what they did is they went around like middle class or affluent neighborhoods, and they looked at homes where there was like bad paint jobs, and they literally knocked on the door. They said like, here's what we can do for your house, and and then like, because they were then able to identify the people who had a need and who had the means to pay, and those are pretty good. Those are pretty good kind of like determinants of whether people would end up, whether they were a good candidate to try to sell to, and they reported pretty good results. Keep in mind that one such customer can bring in a lot of revenue, right? It's not like a cheap job. It's a lot of money to get a home painted. So you can spend a lot of time going door to door on that kind of a business, because you really just need one client who pay quite a bit. So it's also, if you get large sales transactions, it's also a huge thing, and I'll make a video about that. I have some thoughts about that, but that doesn't belong in this video. So that's it for things that kind of work. You see, you want to use the human element. It doesn't have to be by bringing your child. It can be in another way, but take advantage that these are two people talking to each other, right? And you gotta be human there. And of course, if you can see, lawns that are unkempt, paint jobs that need to be done, stuff like that. Whatever that local situation is, maybe the local store is far and you're selling like household items, right, or something. I don't know. Like, I'm just making things up, but whatever that local situation is, you see how that dynamic works out, and sell them what they might need. But don't try to sell them like random things, just selling. Like, then it's just annoying and people will just turn you away, right? So have a story, have a good pitch. Part of the pitch will be to be human, and make sure that you're selling something that they need. And that's pretty much how, and you definitely want to leave them with materials where they can go to your website, you can, brochure, stuff like that, so that they can research more. Your phone number is there, so that stuff like that. So you kind of want to, because they may want to learn more about you. You might leave and they'll be like, whatever, but as long as you leave them a brochure, they may remain curious. And if your phone number there is in big letters, and your website name is there in big letters, and your website name also has your phone number, it's like all roads leads back to your phone number, or whatever you need them to do, then they may call you and engage in business with you. So that's kind of what I wanted to say about how to do door-to-door marketing and what people have reported that's successful. And so hopefully you try it. And if you try it, let me know. Comment in the video right below, and let me know if that was helpful, or if maybe I missed something, or what you thought. And if it was helpful, of course, please subscribe to my channel. A lot of business advice here. And of course, if you're starting a business, check out my business apps. They're available on Problemio.com, and you can search for Problemio in any of the app stores. My apps cover business ideas, business planning, marketing, and fundraising. So if you're starting a business, you certainly need at least one of those. Probably all four, actually. Most people have issues with all four at some point of their, starting a business. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.